So let's talk exclusivity and the Epic Games Store. Everyone right now is, first they were mad at Steam, Steam's evil, yada yada, and now it's, Epic Games Store's evil, and yada yada yada. And where do I fall in all this? Well, the first thing is, I do not approve of exclusivity with games, so I really don't like what Epic Store is doing, and that includes Origin. I don't like what they're doing. And so I'm going to get a bit in depth about this, and it's not going to be only Epic Games, it's going to be everything in general. But if you're going to ask me my opinion on the matter, I prefer Steam vastly and how they work over how Epic Games Store works. Now, Epic Games Store and the new Discord store and all those, if you don't know, their big selling point is that they offer a higher percentage of a cut, something like 10% compared to Steam's 30%. They take 10% as opposed to where Steam takes 30% of the cut from developers, so it's a higher likelihood of developers going, I want to be on the Epic Games Store, I want to be on the Discord store, because they take less percentage from us, so we're getting more profits. Now, it is important to note that when it comes to digital distribution in general, it's way better for developers overall. The numbers that I was able to find in regards to when you're doing a retail release is that whenever there's a copy on the shelf, the developers are getting about 50%, and the other 50% is going to everyone else. So even with Steam taking 70% initially, that it's way better overall than doing retail. The way it does work, though, is with Steam, they take a 30% flat cut. It then becomes 25% once a game has sold 10 million in copies, and I'd be willing to bet money that for AAA developers, they get an even better percentage than the 25 that's spouted. Why do I like Steam? Well, it's really simple. Steam has the largest library of games for me, and it makes it a lot easier for everything to be seen. And to just boot up games, it's a lot easier to just plainly use Steam. They were the first, therefore they have the largest market share. They are not a monopoly, no matter what everyone wants to tell you. They aren't, officially. But, market hegemon, dominate the market, that's pretty much obvious. Now, it's possible for, other stores to, get a larger market share if you want to do Uplay or Origin, but their selling point, of course, is they only offer their games, and so, it's, you don't get as much crap and shovelware put onto Origin and Uplay, whereas Steam just has thousands of games, and 99% of them you don't care about as, a consumer. So that's that. Now let's get into, exclusivity and all that, or why I prefer Steam in general. I know this isn't for everyone, but I hate having tons of accounts. Off the top of my head, I have a Sega account, I have the new Creative Assembly one, I have Stardock, I have Uplay for a single game, Rainbow Six Siege. Other than that, I refuse to get Uplay. I also don't use Origin. I also have a Relic account. There are tons. And then of course, if you're going to include all digital storefronts, throw in Green Man Gaming, throw in Humble Bundle. So I have tons of accounts and I hate it. The only one I ever have constantly open is Steam because it's just more convenient for me to do that. And the others, I have to open them up, if I want to use them for something. The only saving grace for Uplay as well as, the Creative Assembly one is that when I boot up a game through Steam, it automatically logs me in to the account from whatever the associated game is. And then, when I'm done playing, for example, Rainbow Six Siege, I immediately go and, completely kill Uplay. I also have Battle.net, but I don't really use it that often. But the thing is that having all these accounts with passwords and different passwords for each one is just annoying. I hate it. Now, if you like it and it doesn't bother you, good. I'm not faulting you for that. You do whatever makes you happy. What do I care if you're happy with that? But for me personally, it's an annoyance, and I really like having everything just centralized. Oh yeah, I also have GOG Galaxy, though they might share the same account, but I can't remember. But yeah, the point is that I hate having so many accounts. I wish I could have everything on just one list, so I can look at it and just do everything that way. And so essentially, because Steam is my major game, or my major storefront that I use, then that's where everything else is. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm a fan of convenience. And the reason why Steam was able to, become so big in the first place is because they made it convenient for people. It's really easy to buy a game on Steam. You click a button, you click a game to add it to cart, and then you press click it and you buy it, and it's yours. And you don't have to worry about any crap or garbage and yada yada. And they made everything easier to buy and started the trend of how we now buy everything today. If you want to get into it, well, it's really simple. The more convenient you make something, the more likely people are going to buy it. Remember the Russian market fiasco? At the time, everyone was getting out of the Russian market. No one wanted to sell games in the Russian market. Russians were just a bunch of pirates, and, if we release anything in Russia, we're not going to get any money. And so no one was going into it. And Valve came out and they said, you know what? Here you go, Russia. Really simple. You press buy, you put in your cart, and you buy the game, and it's yours. And there you go. There are your games. And what did they see? They got a huge amount of revenue because people are more likely to buy stuff if it's really convenient and accessible. People are less likely to go onto sites and then, pirate a game if they can easily just be like, oh, here's a bit of money, yeah, now I have a game. Like, just the more convenient you're making things, the better off it is for everyone involved. And so what we're at right now is we're back at this weird point wherein people are saying, oh, this isn't like the consoles and yada yada, and I kind of agree, but at the same time, there's no choice for the consumer. Instead of it being, oh, do I want to buy it on Steam, or do I want to buy it on Discord or the Epic Game Store because, they are giving more share to the developers and I want to support the developer. Or if, you want to be on Steam, like, my library's on Steam and I just like having Steam. That choice is no longer there. Instead it's, oh, this thing that you used to be able to buy on Steam? Yeah, well, now that's on Epic Game Store. Gotta move over there. Oh, what's that? Windows 10, or the Windows Store, has now bought a exclusivity deal for whatever. Oh, now I have to go to the Windows Store, which I can't use because I'm not on Windows 10, I'm on Windows 7, so great, thank you for nothing, Microsoft. And it doesn't turn out well overall. It doesn't help games in any way, shape, or form when you do any sort of exclusivity deals. Let's take Quantum Break, for instance. Quantum Break came out, developed by, I don't remember who developed it, but it was published under Microsoft, and, it was an Xbox One exclusive, and then it was on the Windows Store, and as far as anyone can tell, it didn't sell very well. No surprise the Windows Store isn't very good. So it didn't sell well, and so then X amount of time later, I don't know the exact time frame, they said, screw it, we're going to release on Steam and try to get some extra sales. But when games release, they only have one big release, plain and simple. You have all your marketing budget put in for that time when the game's going to first get released, and then it comes out with a big shebang and everyone buys it up because whether you like it or not, games are still pretty much a hit-driven industry. At least AAA gaming. Literally Google it, type in, is gaming a hit-driven industry, and you're going to have a bunch of execs from Sony and whatnot saying, yeah, for the most part, it kind of still is. And it's even more so now with their live service push, where they're releasing even less games than they used to per year. So what ended up happening with Quantum Break is then came onto the Steam store as kind of like, oh, this game's here now, and its sales were still dismal, and it wasn't really a success. Or what happened, with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Oh, it's a timed exclusive for Microsoft again, and so it's going to come to PC later. Well, we have some numbers from it, and you can't really correlate them one-to-one or anything like that, because you can't compare them to 2013, because 2013 came out, 6 years ago, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider 3 years ago. But the numbers they've shown is, well, the original 2013 Tomb Raider sold 11 million copies, and Rise of the Tomb Raider sold 7 million. And I don't think in 3 years you're going to get another 4 million, or if you do, you're going to get it on sale for, peanuts, or even free from, a Humble Bundle or something. Because, well, I bought it this year, finally, and I got it for $14 Canadian, which is $10 American, so great, you're selling it for 1/6 of its initial value. You lost out on sales, so you better hope that Crystal Dynamics got a huge, huge sum of cash from Microsoft in order to have that exclusivity deal. And I'd be willing to bet that, there are a bunch of deals being made with what happened with Metro Exodus, where the Epic Game Store said, hey, we're going to give you a bunch of money to give us this timed exclusive. And while that money that you're getting better be making up for the lost sales you're going to get, because you're not just getting, people coming over to the Epic Game Store and saying, I really want to play this right now. You're getting a lot of people who say, well, it's only timed. What do I care? I can afford to wait a year until 2020 before it comes out. I have a bunch of games just sitting here waiting. Again, I have 50 games on my Steam wish list. I'm not going to get around to all those in who knows how long. And I'm just going to be adding more. But then the game gets released, and you're like, well, I waited a year, and I didn't really care that much. Yeah, you know what, I'll wait till, winter. I'll wait till the first sale happens. And then the first winter sale happens, and there's a chance you'll pick it up, but there's also a chance you won't. Maybe some other games are more pressing, or you feel like, oh, I want to play this game instead right now, so I'll put my money there. And then you just keep pushing it back, and it does affect sales. There's nothing else for it. You're reducing your game's prominence. You need those eyeballs on there, because you have the people who are your hardcore followers, and they're going to go oh my god, I'm super obsessed with this game, I'll go wherever you need me to in order to get it. And then you have people who just kind of forgot about it, and then when you get that big splash page on Steam with their 125 plus million, account holders, all those eyes on there, essentially free marketing, going, oh yeah, this came out. And then you have, people who are just, oh, this got recommended to me, what is this? Oh, this looks fun, I'll pick that up. And you're not going to get that with, a way smaller platform like Epic Game Store or whatever. Those are free eyeballs, free views that you can get for games just by having it on Steam, especially if you're AAA, because AAA pretty much guaranteed to be in, the top seller for X amount of time. So it's just really stupid. So I think what they're currently doing is just dumb in general, but it's even dumber just how it's always been. So back in the day when Origin was released, I don't know when it was released, it must have been a really easy sell to investors and shareholders. Because all you have to do is you go to them and you say, hey guys, I have this really simple plan. We're going to release our own storefront, so 100% of all sales are going to come into our pocket. And with just one click of a button, a simple click of a button, we are going to increase per transaction 30% of our profits. We're going to have an extra 30% in our pocket per transaction. And investors go, what? You can do this? Just one button press? We just make a little stupid store and suddenly all of our profits are increasing by 30%? And they go, yes. And you're like, I'm on board. Now, to be fair, in 2013, which is the furthest I could get the soonest I could get numbers for how many accounts are on Origin, the number was about 40 million. And they compared it to Steam at 50 million, and this was in 2013. Now, the numbers that I have for Steam currently, which is August 2017, is 125 million accounts. Do I think that Origin or Uplay or anything like that is growing at the rate that Steam grows? No. I am willing to bet that EA is not publishing numbers anymore, because here's the thing, no game companies publish numbers. It's almost impossible to get numbers for anything. The numbers that people are using are really stupid and archaic, because I think the numbers that everyone uses for sales are the UK retail charts. So it ignores digital entirely, and it's honestly really stupid, but that's the best we have because game companies don't release numbers because they're the worst. But what ends up happening is I think that Steam just grew like crazy because their library is in the tens of thousands, and at best, I don't know the exact number, but Origin has a couple hundred maybe. Like, it just can't compete with library size. And all the games that EA is putting in on Origin are generally the same types of games. Like, they're your AAA shooters or, AAA type stuff. So just that diversity is not there. Where the RTS crowd, or you have where's your RTS crowd? You have your FPS crowd, but what if people like puzzles or, point-and-click adventures? People like variety, and EA Origin is just for, their main stuff. So I'm willing to bet that they stopped publishing their numbers because they were just getting outstripped by Steam like crazy, and you don't want to publish numbers if they aren't favorable. Now, if you are going to be brutally honest, because again, you can manipulate any numbers for what you want. Oh, we're increasing our profits by 30% now per customer, and oh my god, that's amazing. Where the reality, if you're going to be brutally honest to your investors, would be, okay, here's what's happening. We are taking a risk. We think we can get $18 more per transaction while risking a potential loss of $42. Because if you buy on Steam for a $60 game on Steam, obviously US, because in Canada it's all like $80 nowadays, but if you buy a $60 game on Steam, they're getting $42 of that. Whereas if you buy it on Origin, they get the full $60. So you're going to them and you're saying, we think we're going to have so many people come over by cutting off Steam entirely and only going on Origin, we are going to increase $18 per transaction at the risk of losing $42. Now, if I was an investor, I would say, I don't like those odds. I don't think that's great. The fact that you think that, 70%, at least 70% of the people who are buying on Steam are going to come over to Origin just to break even, I'd be like, I don't think that's going to happen. And I mean, I don't know if it happened. It might happen, I don't know. We don't have sales numbers, so what do I know? But I just, personally, I don't like those odds. If it were me, I would say, here's what you should do. Open Origin, put your games on Origin, keep your games on Steam. Yeah, you're going to have some diehards who are going to come over to Origin, and we're going to get the full, $60 from that. But I'd much rather have the $42 we're currently getting from Steam and the $60 that we're getting from Origin than only getting the share from Origin and hoping that everyone comes over. Now, what you should do, and which they don't do, is that they should be using these profits they're getting from still being on Steam, and they should be folding that over into an incentive program in order to get people to Origin. Because there's diehards like me who are not going to go to Origin. I don't really care. They've even offered free games. Not worth it for me to make an account. And that's fine. There are people who aren't going to go over. But there are some people who, just need a little nudge. And that's why you should have a loyalty program. Hey, when you want to change your, cable company, because people use cable nowadays, or if you want to change your phone plan, they offer you great incentives. Oh, man, Come over to us. We'll give you a free phone. We'll give you a laptop. Why are we giving you a laptop? I don't know, but we got laptops. We got tablets. We will give you one for free if you come and sign a 2-year contract with us or whatever. So use an incentive program instead of, the stick of you can't get the games anywhere else, got to come to us, and put them on and use that for Origin. I mean, loot boxes and microtransactions suck, plain and simple, but if, you release the game on Steam and release it on Origin, and then you say, oh man, yeah, Origin is doing a giveaway of essentially $10 worth of loot boxes for free when you first buy the game. And people seem to be like, why don't we get that? This is unfair. And the answer is, well, because it's a loyalty program with Origin. This is the live service. It's not games as live services. It's Origin is your live service. And of course, EA doesn't get this. They think games are live services. We can cache these forever. And the answer is, no, you can't. You're stupid. But Origin should be, that's your live service. You offer people incentives to be showing up and coming onto your page. And you're generating loot boxes out of thin air. It doesn't actually cost you money to make them. Just give people these free loot boxes, $10 when you first buy it, and then, have rewards every, week or whatever for something that people can get, and not you play rewards like you get a wallpaper. That's stupid and dumb. Give people actual reasons to show up. Battle.net does this. They'll give you a free pack of Hearthstone, or, some skin for, I don't know, Heroes of the Storm or some crap every now and then. And that's what should be doing. What you want to be doing, and what, everyone else does, because, again, games think they're freaking special when they're not special, is if I'm selling stuff, I'm going to sell it to Walmart, I'm going to sell it to Target, I'm going to sell it to Best Buy, and I'm going to say I want as many chains to be carrying my products as possible so I can get as many customers as possible to buy it. I don't care where they buy it from. I just want them to buy it because that gives me money. And no one here is doing that. If I was releasing a game, I would be saying, okay, I'm going to go on Steam. If I get, that's where the largest amount of customers are. If I get 70% of that, I'm happy. But I'm also going to put it on GOG, and I'm going to put it on Origin. I'm going to put it on Uplay. Now, granted, you can't put it on Origin and Uplay because they're really restrictive and pretty much only do their own stuff. But, I'm going to put it on Discord Store. I'm going to put it on Epic Game Store. And people can buy it where they want, because when you give consumers choices, they're going to be happy. But when you restrict it and say you can only buy it here, now you're forced to make an account with us, you're going to piss people off. And it's a stupid way to do business. And it's honestly even worse, because at least with Steam, Steam only says, okay, if you want to release it on other platforms, that's fine. All we ask is that you release at the exact same time on both stores. You don't give one preference over the other. Now, of course, there is some leeway with that because, as we saw, timed exclusive with Rise of the Tomb Raider, timed exclusive with Quantum Break. They came to Steam later, but they still showed up. So Steam will give some leeway, though, of course, if you're a AAA publisher, obviously you have more swing than that. But for everyone else, Steam isn't restricting anything. Steam is saying, here's our storefront, if you want to come on, here's our cut that we take, but you don't have to. Whereas Epic Games is saying, yeah, you're going to come to our storefront, here's an exclusivity deal, you can't go anywhere else. And that's just, it's crap. It's a load of crap. And I don't approve of it. I don't think it's smart. Just give people choice, let them go where they want. If they want to support you more and they know that they're going to get the developer's going to get a better deal at, Discord and Epic Games Store, then fine, good. But God, just give us choice. What you're doing now is just stupid and archaic, and you're costing yourselves money, and they don't get it, and it's infuriating.